Hello and welcome to Radical Disruption. I'm your host, Maya Nicole. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you are an avid listener, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here with me. I know that your time is limited and extremely valuable, so I don't take it lightly that you are spending time with me here in this episode. And since time is precious, let's jump straight into the reason that you're here, which is to hear more about my experience and the lessons that I learned earlier this year. So earlier this year, I wanted to experiment with something new in my launch strategy for a brand new offer that I was launching. And I always love trying out new things and testing out different aspects of launching. And I had seen a few other friends of mine in the educational space test out this really cool feature in their launches with their offers. And I thought it was a very intriguing idea. So, again, why not try it out? Because, as I say all the time, you have to be continually testing if you want to be continually growing. So, what is this feature? Last year, Kajabi introduced a payment option that is pay what you want, meaning that when you turn that feature on a checkout page, a customer can type in how much they want to pay for the offer. So there's no set limit for you. Like, you didn't go in and say, hey, you need to pay $97 for this offer. There's no set price point. They actually get to choose what price they want to pay for the offer. Now, you can set a minimum limit though, if you want, but you also don't have to. So you could have someone paying $1 for the same offer that someone is paying $1,000 for, depending on how they see the offer, how they see the value of the offer and what they decide to actually pay for that offer. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing that the pay what you want feature that Kajabi released, I'm guessing that it came about to allow creators to see how much their audience would be willing to pay for an offer to then help them determine what to officially price it at. And it's also something that you could even do an A/B test or a split test. Like, if you did one checkout page as a pay what you want and another with a set price, and get the data from those to then help you determine what you want to officially price it at. And I'm guessing what the feature was born to do is to help you to understand what you should officially price your offer at. And I don't think that the pay what you want option is meant to be something that's like I don't think it's meant to be a long-term thing, is basically what I'm saying. I think it's meant to be utilized for testing so that you can then set a price and then sell the offer at that price moving forward. And at first, I thought this feature was genius. But after trying it out, I had different thoughts. So I want to share more about my experience. I presented the pay what you want feature for a new offer that I was launching on the back end of another offer that I had just finished up. Meaning that at the end of an offer, which was a 15-day challenge, I gave students inside of that challenge the opportunity to join the new offer that I was launching with the pay what you want payment option. I personally wasn't using the pay what you want feature because I didn't know how to price the offer. I didn't know what price I wanted to set it at. I was just using it as an experiment to see what would come of the feature. So at the time, I was going to price the new offer at $97. So if I just set the price, that's what it would have been set at. So I wrote that down. But again, I decided to use the pay what you want feature because I was just so interested to see if anyone would be willing to pay that $97 price point, or if anyone would see enough value to like literally type in $97 and pay that amount. I set a $5 minimum so that no one would be purchasing for less than that. I don't know why $5. I just didn't want someone paying $1 for it. So I guess I just decided $5 was the move. And so I set it for $5 minimum. And I ended up having 40 people join the offer using the pay what you want option in 3 days. So it was a 3-day launch. And again, this was only available for students who were in the challenge. So this wasn't marketed to my whole email list. It wasn't marketed to everyone in my community. It was only marketed to those people inside the challenge. And I think in this challenge, I had 97 members. So almost half of the members actually ended up joining into this new offer through the pay what you want option. In terms of marketing for this offer, I posted about the offer in the Facebook group page 2 times, and I sent out 3 emails. So 1 email each day during the launch. And in the marketing, I told them to pay the price that they saw in terms of value with the offer. So if they went through the sales page and they went through all the marketing and they thought that offer was worth $10, then pay $10. And if they thought that the offer was worth $100, pay $100. You know what I'm saying? So I asked them to pay what they saw in terms of the value of the offer. And the results were very interesting. So the average that I made per person was $15, with some people paying up to $45, but a large majority paying $5. Again, there was obviously some in between. So some people paid $10, some $25, but there were a few who paid around the $45 range, and there were majority though that paid $5, and I made around $650 from this. If I had priced this offer at $97, which is what I was going to set the price at had I not tried out this pay what you want feature, I would have made $3,880 with 40 people purchasing. Now, that being said, do I think that all 40 people would have purchased at a $97 price point? No, I don't think that I would have had the same volume of people, but even at half the volume, so if 20 people purchase at $97, I still would have made more than double what I made with the pay what you want feature. Now, obviously the experiment wasn't all about the money, though I did expect to make more money from it, because again, I basically lost like potentially $3,200 there by doing this, but the data and just what I learned from this, again, was just, in my opinion, worth it. And I'm telling you so that you don't have to go through this experiment and learn it for yourself. But this was so interesting to me. So let me break down some of the lessons here. I strategically presented this payment option to my current customers and not to my entire community. So I could have easily launched this for 3 days, the pay what you want feature, to my entire community, to my entire email list. But I chose to launch it to the people who had just gone through my 15-day challenge. They had just spent 15 days with me inside of this challenge with immense value. The reason why I did that is because I wanted them to have at least seen the value of what I could provide inside of a paid offer. Versus if I had just offered the pay what you want feature to my entire community. While there are obviously people inside of my community who have purchased other offers outside of the 15-day challenge, I would say vast majority of my community they have not seen the value that I provide inside my offers. And so they would have a different perspective going into the pay what you want feature than someone who is a current customer who has seen the value that I provide. So that was my thought process behind that. Now, even though these customers had just spent 15 days with me, they had seen the value inside of this challenge, and that challenge is a really amazing challenge. It really is, especially for the price point. These customers still chose to pay less than a 15th of the cost of what I would have charged full price at the time, which was that $97 price point. I thought for sure, again, presenting this option to people who had already seen the value that I provided inside of a paid offer would have increased the amount that they paid, but it didn't seem to matter, which then led me to this conclusion, this is the mic drop, the golden nugget of this episode. People see the value that you assign to the offer. Now, what do I mean by this? If you price your offer at $5, and in your marketing, you showcase why it's worth $5, people will see the value of spending $5 and they will buy the offer. If you price your offer at $5,000 and in your marketing, you showcase why it's worth $5,000, people will see the value of spending $5,000 and will buy the offer. Now, of course, that all hinges on whether or not your marketing is obviously showcasing the value, but let's just say that it is. It's showcasing the value. Now, once they are in the offer, they will hopefully see that it's actually worth way more than what they ever paid for it. But it's through your marketing that you attach value to the amount that you're charging for the offer. So instead of it just being like, hi, this offer is $5 and someone's, okay, this ebook is $5. What does that mean for me? You're utilizing your marketing, your messaging, so your sales pages, how you're selling the offer, your emails, however you're marketing that offer. You're using the messaging inside of that to say, this is why this ebook is worth $5. This is why it's for you. Here's the outcome, right? Or this is why this program or this one-on-one coaching is $5,000, right? Again, it's through your marketing that you're attaching value to the amount that you're charging for the offer. Now, I hear people say often that their community is saying that their offer is too expensive. That's an objection that they're getting. And what I immediately hear when people say this, if you were to come to me right now and you say, hey, my offer is not selling, people keep telling me that it's too expensive, this is what I would say to you. I would say, people in your audience don't see the value in the offer. And it's not because the offer doesn't have value. It's not because the offer isn't great, but it's because the value hasn't been clearly communicated through the marketing. Now, do you want to hear the most interesting thing about this offer launch and pricing? I started the launch with the pay what you want option, which brought in an average of $15 per person. And there were, I think, about 40 people who joined during that time frame, which ended up bringing in about $650. And it was a 3-day launch. And again, it was only to people who were paying customers already. I could have easily said, oh, people are only willing to pay on average of $15. So maybe that's what I should price this offer at. But I didn't. I said, no, I know that this is worth $97, at least $97. So when I launched it to everyone in my community, I set the price at $97. And guess what? Guess what happened? Crickets. Just kidding. Just kidding. I had over 80 people buy at that price point of $97, which I didn't calculate this. Let's see. Pull out my calculator right now. $97 times 80. That's at least $7,500. $7,500. I could have easily said, oh, based off of that data from the pay what you want feature, people only want to pay $15. And I was like, no, I'm going to price this at $97. I know that this is the value, and I'm going to communicate that value through my marketing, which I did. And I had 80 people buy, and I made $7,760 from that. Then what happened after that, I started to build out that offer even more and add in new trainings, because what I personally do, I would say probably 95% of the time when I'm launching an offer, is I'll launch that offer and I'll have a general idea of the outcome of that offer, what I'm going to be talking about inside of that offer. But then once I actually launch it is when I start to actually build that offer out. So I started to build that offer out even more and add in some new trainings that I didn't think of before. And I even refined my curriculum, and I realized that the offer was even more valuable because the transformation and outcome was greater than I had initially anticipated. So I actually ended up increasing the price to $247. And guess what? I have had 100 plus people buy at that price point, which is $24,700 just at that price point. Just at that price point alone. And that's not including the 80 people who joined during the pre-sale at $97. So the moral of the story, what did I learn from this? You can ask your audience what they would be willing to pay for an offer. You can poll them. You can use the pay what you want option, and you can take that data into consideration when you price your offer if you want to. But realize that at the end of the day, you assign the value at the price through your marketing. So my recommendation, in my opinion, is to just choose a price that you can confidently stand behind. Meaning that if I came to you right now and I was one of your potential customers and I said, okay, you just gave me all this information about this offer. This is great, but what's the cost? To that question, you will confidently send over the cost without hesitation. That's what I mean by confidently stand behind the price point of the offer. And then what you want to do is work on your marketing to showcase the value of the offer at that price point. And then if you need to increase the price in the future, as you get more confident in selling and marketing that offer, and as you get more testimonials and social proof, and maybe you add a few trainings to it or refine your curriculum, then you can do that too. Moral of the experiment here is that you assign the value through your marketing. So set the price point, as long as obviously the price is at least equal to the value. Hopefully the value is a little bit more than even what you priced it at, because we want people inside the offer to say, wow, this is even greater than I ever imagined it being. Once you get to that point, you're going to utilize your marketing to showcase the value. So again, you can ask your audience for feedback on what they would pay. You can utilize the pay what you want option if you want to test out that feature. But I tested it out so that you don't have to test it out. And I lost money so that you don't have to lose money. But I hope that this was interesting, an interesting concept and feature to think about. And if you need help with pricing your offer, or you need help with offer creation and knowing the value of your offer, I highly recommend diving into the online blueprint, where I talk more about all of that. And you also have the opportunity inside of there to ask me questions about your business. And I will link that course down in the show notes. It's a really awesome course. Hope that this episode was helpful and insightful. Thank you so much for tuning in.